familiar with the work of Bernard Malamud, the fixer, right? He won the Pulitzer Prize for that. And The Assistant, I think, is probably his greatest work. One day I'm going to turn that into an opera. But actually there are 7 operas based on stories by Bernard Malamud. The first one was begun by Mark Littstein. He was actually going to make a series of operas called Tales of Malamud, like Tales of Hoffman. So the very first one was Idiots First, based on a short story of that name. And he was also thinking of writing an opera based on Angel Levine, a wonderful story about blacks and Jews in Harlem. My teacher, Ellie Siegmeister, also wanted to write that an opera based on Angel Levine. But Littstein got there first, and then Malamud sold the rights to the movies, so he couldn't, neither one of them could use it. But Littstein decided that Idiots First and another opera that he was going to write called The Magic Barrel would make a full evening, and so they left Angel Levine alone for a while. Well, Littstein was killed outside a bar in Martinique in 1964, and he left very, very little of The Magic Barrel. He left a lot of Idiots First. Most of it was finished. Leonard Bernstein said that he was going to finish it. I only found out many years later why he declared himself 6 months later unable to finish it. He gave a concert, a Littstein memorial concert at Philharmonic Hall, April 1964. And he did an excerpt from Idiots First, said he was going to finish it. And afterwards, Bernard Malamud came back to congratulate him on the concert. And according to Malamud's daughter, his memoir, Leonard Bernstein propositioned Malamud, which Malamud didn't take to at all. And he didn't tell anybody except his wife and his daughter. I didn't know about this until years later when it was written up in her memoir. But that's probably, because of his reaction, that's probably why Bernstein felt that he just couldn't do it. So, they asked a number of other composers. William Bolcom was interested for a while, and he decided not to do it. Ellie Siegmeister was doing an article on Littstein, and he was very interested in Littstein's work. He had told me about The Cradle Will Rock, which was Littstein's masterpiece that I had done at Harvard in '69, the first Harvard production since Bernstein's in '39. When Bernstein found out about it, he said, "I'm glad someone at Harvard still has taste." And so I met him a month later, and a year after that, I asked him for permission to complete Idiots First, because Siegmeister recommended that I do it. And I did. It took me 3 years. It took me 25 years to finish the Sacco and Benzetti. We'll be doing some of that tomorrow night. But we'll do some of Idiots First in this program. First, I'm going to do it another piece, though, because, as I think I told you, did I mention there are 7 operas based on Bernard Malamud's work at this one. Idiots First was the first one, which Littstein started and I completed. Magic Barrel is still not complete. There's a scene in the song. And then I wrote an opera called Carla, based on his story, Notes from a Lady at a Dinner Party. Idiots First and Carla had 4 productions together, and Malamud attended the 3rd one in New York in '78, and came back and was ecstatic, and he said he really loved the way operas were made out of his works, much more than movies, because the movies ended up writing lots of dialogue that he didn't recognize as his, was the libretto could use much less, and text had to use much less text. So he was very happy about the operas, and he said, I'm going to get the rights back for the movies for Angel Levine and give them to Ellie Siegmeister, who then wrote his first Malamud opera, Angel Levine, and another one, The Lake with the Lake. And then years later, I set Malamud's only published play, dramatic work. He called it a scene of a play, which is a pun. It could be a scene from a play, or it could be a play in one scene. No, a scene of a play. And it's about a retired Jewish actor whose daughter is torn between 2 suitors. One is a young man who's very materialistic, he sells sports equipment. And the other one is a writer who's an idealist. And the father, the Yiddish actor, guess which one he wants, right? The idealist. Whereas the mother wants the material, and they fight the whole opera. So most of the opera is mostly about the 2 of them fighting. But at the beginning, where the Yiddish actor is sizing up this suitor of his daughter, and he tells him a story. And Malamud did not attribute this story to its actual source, but how many of you are familiar with the Dybbuk? Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, this story comes right from the Dybbuk. He just stole it, you know, from Ansky's Dybbuk. And in my opera, actually, after he does this monologue, the other character says, "What was that from?" Dybbuk. So I put the footnote in it. So, but even without the footnote, this is a song. This is a monologue from the Dybbuk, adapted by or taken by Malamud and put into his play "Suppose a Wedding," which then I put into my opera. It's called "The Rabbi and the Rich Man."
You're a singer too?
When I was auditioning to become a candidate for the opera conductor doctoral program in Indiana, I had to sit and sight read and play and sing an opera aria, which I did. And then I said to the conductor who was auditioning me, "Of course you know I'm not a singer." He said, "No kidding." Actually, on this album, I play a composer. This is Mark Littstein's autobiographical. I've got the tune about a composer who has a tune and no words and no one to sing it. And he hires a secretary. He plays a secretary on this. And he sings the tune to her and says, "Don't you like it?" And she says, "I don't know, Mr. Musiker. I'm just a secretary trying to get along. Maybe if I heard somebody sing it." Anyway, you're going to hear me sing this.